think that's it. Good evening, folks. Mr. Alan Partridge is back again. Cheers, Al.
I used to be alright when you woke me in the morning, waiting for the sun to shine, do the two-step all night, and you spin me round and catch me laughing as the sun would rise. Sun would rise. Oh, I don't know what to do. You speak a foreign language, what do you put me through?
I really hope this is coming through. This would be grand if this was the case. Flight facilities. This is foreign language. You've probably never heard that. This tune from 9-10 years ago. Hello there, whoever's watching. Grand. Good evening. This is an announcement. Now, first of all, I have come on to this afternoon, or this evening, I should say, that my previous one, if you've seen it, hope you enjoyed it. I did find it quite funny. I did previously try to put on that song that I've just been playing. Now, I also hope now that you have heard that. For the first minute and a half to 2 minutes, I was listening to that piece on Monday and realized about watching it back that actually the sound wasn't working. It was just silent. So you just saw an old middle-aged man just nodding with some weird glasses and a headphone on. So I have to apologize for that. One of my good friends messaged me, phoned me today saying that, yeah, it was a very funny 25 seconds. It was almost like Alan Partridge. So if anybody is tuning in and knows who Alan Partridge is, knock it into the comments below who the real person is. If you don't know, it is, well, I'll tell them later on. But welcome. Good evening. Welcome back to the channel. Now, plan for tonight. Being honest, I wanted to do one today. I haven't had any idea what I was going to do about it until like 20-30 minutes ago. And one of the biggest things I'm trying to do with this is experiment with the medium, try and find out, one, if I like this medium. Like, I find this a very weirdly similar environment to COVID, obviously, with a Microsoft Teams, Zooms, etc. when I was at work as a teacher. However, there's also the added complexity of being in performance at this time. However, recorded videos, there's a lot of time, effort, editing processes to put in. Whereas so far, I'm enjoying just you press go live and hello world. But the other thing I'm trying to figure out is I've got a lot of different interests here. I've talked about music for the first few, but I also am a big fan of golf. I talked about traveling previously as well. Those are three things in my life, and there's a few other things that I'm going to explore in the further live streams that I find interesting and are meaningful to me. So the plan is I'm going to go through certain topics that I like over the next few live streams. But this one today, I'm going to talk about golf because, well, I'm close by and there's been major news to one of my favorite golf course in the world, St Andrews, the Old Course. Now, this week, or actually a couple of weeks ago, I should have said, I saw this Instagram post. Hopefully that this will come in. I'm going to show you. There we go. I saw this Instagram post, the home of golf. And I just then need to change it to this, and add it. Yes. Actually, I'm going to do it there, and hopefully that's a better idea. I saw this post, and it said, continued evolution for everyday golfer. Today, the Links Trust, alongside the RNA, are excited to announce a carefully planned program of enhancements and restoration to the old course ahead of the 155th Open in 2027. As long continues the tradition of the old course evolving, the work will restore features that have changed subtly over time and refine others to preserve the course's unique character. Links Trust always aims to protect what makes the old course so special while ensuring it continues to offer a fair, challenging, and enjoyable experience for all golfers. Now, in the golf world, those that don't watch this, that don't like golf, hello there, whoever's just joined there. Whoever doesn't like golf, nobody bats an eyelid to this one. However, if you are a golf fan, this is huge news because this is like people saying that they're about to do internal work in St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican, or you're about to demolish the Empire State Building and then do a rebuild of it in a sort of restoration format, or in American politics, the changing of the Lincoln bathroom. This is a big moment, and you want to find out the details. So in the last few weeks, there's been a fury of social media posts and narrations of what is going to be happening in over the next few weeks, months, and next 18 months probably before the 2027 Open. Now, being close to St Andrews and being relatively interested in the old course, and I've played it twice, this is something I was interested in. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to talk through and also find a little bit more out of what they are doing on the old course in terms of restoration and upgrades and refurbs of all that sort of jazz. So let me share another tab, and I'm going to add in this one right here, because you can go and see it on their website. They've attached a document, visualizations of the adjustments to the old course at St Andrews. So there's going to be a few big changes. Okay, they're going to be, actually, let's go and show this one here. They're going to be looking at the second. I know they're looking at the second. They're looking at the 5th. They're looking at the 6th. They're looking at the 7th. They're looking at the 10th holes, but they're also looking at the 11th. Change tees at the 11th. And they're changing the 16th tees as well. They're actually doing quite a little big bit of 16. The two main ones, remember, is the 2nd and the 16. So if I go back to the visualizations and then share this one here, this is a document that they put out on October 2025. And it's sort of part of the Mackenzie and Ebert consultation, which you can see at the bottom there. Mackenzie and Ebert, international golf course architects. They are quite famous in the golfing world. If you are into your golf, obviously the RNA have been consultation because they're on the Open, and St Andrews Links Trust, which have a new logo, as you can see. They have obviously run the course, maintain the course, so they're going to be doing the majority of the work. So, second hole, which is known as Dyke. The existing one looks roughly like this. And actually, that looks very poor quality, being honest. So what I'm actually going to do, and I've already got this prepared, is we're going to watch the second hole. And this is Golf Digest's flyover that they did a couple of years ago of the flyover of the old course. So hope you can see this. Yep, there.
Himalaya's putting course. The tee shot on the second hole is blind over knobs of marram grass and gorse. The first bunkers on the course can be found on the second fairway, the most prominent being Cheap's bunker on the far left, some 290 yards out.
So I'm actually just going to put that back a bit because that's a bit slightly better quality. You can actually see some bunkers right here on the right hand side. There's literally only one massive one in the middle on the left hand side. Now, if I go to this just sort of shows this from a higher up vantage point. One bunker on the right, one on the left, massive amounts of planes. Okay, and then moving forward. Excellent. Thank you very much for that on the American accent, whoever that was. So going back to the visualization. Oh, did I not share that? Oh, damn. My bad. Right, let's go back to the beginning of that and share this tab instead.
Hole is blind over knobs of marram grass and gorse. The first bunkers on the course can be found on the second fairway, the most prominent being Cheap's bunker on the far left, some 290 yards out. It separates the second from the 17th fairway. To land in it often results in a pitch out sideways. A series of moguls short of the putting surface will deflect any bump and run approach shot into the second green, which is part of a massive double green shared by the 16th hole. More moguls bleed into the right front edge of the green, which drops down to a lower deck beyond it.
Yeah, again, thank you very much to that American accent. Now, back to the visualizations that we've got on the thing. So the plan is, as you can see on the right-hand side, they're going to add in some bunkers there down the right. I think they're going to be about between 300 and 330. A little bit of a closer view of that. So this is currently existing. There's actually two way out there on wind, which probably is more of a case of like if the wind is into, which is usually the case, but this sort of makes it a little bit more challenging. Tightens up the fairway. You can see the difference there. They've sort of moved them up a bit higher up into the fairway, more into sort of landing zones there. So that's sort of the main only one on the second hole. And then we sort of move forward to the fifth hole, which is the one first of only two par fives. If you're a St Andrews Old Course fanatic like me, fifth is the first par five. Currently looks like this. And let's go and see a little better look of it on the video. Let's skip forward to the fifth. And here we go.
5 is one of only two par fives on the course, the other being the adjacent 14th playing in the opposite direction. There are 3 rows of bunkers on the right, nicknamed the Seven Sisters.
Tons of bunkers.
So the drive should be to the wide valley fairway on the left, which narrows considerably at the 300-yard mark. From ground level, a matched pair of flanking bunkers called the Spectacles look like they're right in front of the putting surface. But in fact, they're 65 yards short, and they obscure a view of a deep swale in front of the green. The fifth green, shared with the 13th, is the only double green that stretches front to back instead of side to side, and is 98 yards deep.
It is a massive green, this one. If I just gone, I was seconds away from it.
Yards deep.
I put it right there. You can see the greenkeeper there, the actual 13th flag is on the ground because they're in the middle of cutting it. It goes way to the left as well. It's an absolute huge green. Welcome whoever's just joined the live stream. So back to the visualization. Share this tab instead. Yes, here we go. Thank you. So that's the original lookout from the back of the tee. As you saw in the video there, that is the main tee right here. What they're going to try and do is extend it. And Let's see if we can clip that back. They're putting an extra tee right behind it. So isn't that pretty nuts? It's like an extra sort of 35 yards, I think they're putting into it. So there's that path there. They're actually just going to completely clear it and then put an extra tee there, and actually moves it a little bit left. So sort of more straight up the fairway, which I'm finding more interesting on that one. Yeah, I think they're what are they making it to? Is it 580? Let's go and try and find that out. What is taking place? Here we go. This is on the Open. All you need to know, restoration. Par fives, both par fives were reachable in 2 most days. We want to introduce some strategic challenge. Most notable changes: 6 holes will be lengthened. The 5th, the 6th, 7th, the 10th, the 11th, and the 16th, while the 12th will be shortened. And so 132 yards extra to a grand total of 745. So there you go. 570 up to 605. 605 on the new one. And then yeah, so a little bit of new repositioning on the second, but the first lengthening is quite sizable. It's on the 5th, so 605. Love that. So let's bring it back to the sharing tab. So yeah, 35 yards makes over 600 yards. I mean, that makes it more special for a bigger opening. Like the majority of drives are actually coming up to way up here, past all the bunkers, etc., where the fairway starts to narrow a bit. And that actually only gives them an iron in, usually, because I went and saw them at the Alfred Dunhill. And yeah, it's either a hybrid or a long iron that was getting in for the second shot. So yeah, this extra 35 yards brings the bunkers, particularly the sort of second and third ridge of the bunkers. Where are we? There we go. So it was coming up. Drives are coming way past all of them. Whereas if you're bringing it back 35 yards, that's bringing it prime time for these big bunkers on the right-hand side. So they're going to be coming back to about here, whereas previously they were coming way up to about here, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's very much like that edition. Continuing. Now we're on to the 6th hole. This is probably the weakest hole on the golf course. Not going to lie. That is a strong opinion. I do apologize if that offends some people and gets me cancelled. But yeah, it's pretty bland. Half blind tee shot into a sort of middling fairway. Not really much happening. And yeah, it's sort of like the filler hole in between 7. 7's an interesting hole, and 5's the first par 5. Let's look at 6 on the video.
So the drive should be to the wide valley fairway on the left. Green shared with the 13.
Yep.
The 6 features another blind tee shot over successive ridges of gorse, with a minefield of pot bunkers on the right and a vast fairway connected to hole 13 on the left, guarded by 3 hidden traps known as the coffins. The smart play is down the middle. The front of the green is deceptive, with a hidden gulch in front that's not visible from the fairway, thus foreshortening one's estimate of distance and thwarting any low running approach shot. The putting surface, 42 yards deep and shared with the 12th, is fairly flat.
Yeah, fairly straightforward hole. As you can see, not a lot of bunkers on it at the green. In fact, 0. So the plan for this one is they're going to be lengthening this one as well. So you can see the tee there. That's the championship. This is probably the shortest walk for majority of the players from green to the next tee. 6th right there, whereas they're going to extend it just a touch more. What are they about to put it up to? They're about to put it to from 414 to 431. So an increase of 17 yards. Not much, but they are going to be also Looking down the 6th, that's it currently. There's bunkers way out right, and there's this one way left, sort of in between the 13th fairway and the 6th fairway. But they're about to pinch this in a little bit. There we go. And they're adding this bunker way left because the majority of players previously have just been bombing it way over into this long grass. And since there's not really much bunkers or hazards at the green, and it's a flat green, people were just bombing it over all the trouble, and then could be a route try and get the birdie, but certainly almost guaranteed par. It was one of the more straight ones. With the fact that it's 20 yards back, give or take, brings these bunkers into play, but also for the longer hitters, that would be the line. There's the bunker right there. Yeah, quite like that change. Bearing in mind, like in the 26-2 Open, it was like 20 under was it 20 under? Cam Smith won on 20 under. Open 2022 was won by 20 under. That's wild. Right, continuing forward, we're on to the 7th, next hole. Existing tee. This is quite a short one, but I love this hole. But the issue with this one was that, yet again, bombers were just driving it down left of the big shell bunker and then pretty much onto the green. And since this is the pinch point, for those who don't know the golf course and the geography, the way that the old course goes all the way out in sort of a line, and then 7 sort of crosses over, and then 11 crosses over the 7th fairway. So you've got lots of golf happening all at the same time. You've got 7 going that way, you've got 11 there, you've got 12 there, you've got 10 right beside 11th tee, and there's just so much happening. And if you have to mix in all patrons or people that are attending the event, scorecard, markers, caddies, television, radio, all the different channels, there is so much traffic around that part of the course. Let's see if we can show it on the maps. Here we go. It's quite cool. They've got pretty much all this path right here is pretty much the perimeter of the old course around here. So the 7th, there's the 7th tee right there, beside the 6th green. And what they were doing is they were pretty much nailing it here and actually even covering over this massive bunker called Shell Bunker. But that's the 11th tee here, and it shares a green. 7th and the 11th share a green with each other. So there's a bit of a crisscross here. This is the 10th and the 8th green right here. And then this is 12 coming down. So it sort of goes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12. So, yeah, if you mix in fans, you mix in TV, towers, cameras, etc., 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 it's a nightmare. And people want peace and quiet to hit their shot. It takes forever. One of the biggest issues at the 2022 and the first few days, it was 6 hours and 10 minutes for some of the golf. And vast majority of it is because it's carnage around this point here. And one of the issues was that it wasn't becoming a full shot, a 2-shot par 4. It was becoming a drive ball par 4. So players were having to wait for the green to empty, but they were also having to wait for people to cross over. So you're having to double wait every time if there was a long hitter on the golf course. Whereas, yes, it's still not ideal. You want to just wait for the fairway. If they go onto the green, great. And then the 11th would just wait until these guys have played through onto the green. So, yeah, it was still not ideal. But I know that there was probably a thing of trying to get rid of that sort of bottleneck issue. So, yeah, here's the original current tee. Medal tee is just a step up and a step back. and they're going to be adding an extra championship tee just further back beside the gorse bush. So yeah, adding, what did I say it was? Adding 22 yards. Adding 22 yards. Interesting. So that brings shell bunker right into the play of the long hitter. So they need to lean, sort of play it safe. Hello there, whoever's watching that. Thank you very much for watching. We're currently going through the old course changes. 9th hole. Here we go. The only one of 2 greens on the golf course that actually has its own green. Just as somebody left. Thank you very much. The 9th. 9th existing right here. Let's watch the video.
Is considered the easiest hole on the course. The fairway is joined with the 10th on the right, with the 9th hole landing area defined by pot bunkers. The first one on the left added just before the 2015 Open. It's less than 50 yards short of the green, but coupled with the one on the right, it tightens the landing area considerably. The big oval putting surface is 40 yards deep and 50 yards wide.
Wow.
9 is one of only 4 holes with an individual green. Parallel to the 9th in the opposite direction along the same wide.
That's the 9th. So, currently existing lookout looks like this. What they're going to try and do, minor widening of the bunkers approaches. So these ones are going to become everly slow. All 3 of them actually are going to come a little bit larger and sort of feed things in. I like that change. So a bit more risk reward on the, if it ends up going in them, feeds into that. I like that. 9th hole, here we go, moving on.
Corridor, the slightly longer.
Didn't show you that, sorry. Current bunkers look like this. Particularly 3 that they're going to change. The 1, 2, 3, as you'll see, they're just slightly larger, particularly that one, slightly different shape. That one's sort of more positioned towards the 9th. And I think this mound's going to feed in a bit more. Is that right? It looks quite similar, being honest. Maybe ever slightly. But yeah, particularly the first 2 on the right are going to be moved around. Yeah, again, like that change. Next one. 10th.
10th has gorse bushes hard against its left flank, so the safe route here is to the right. 10 has rugged topography in front of its green, which it shares with the 8th hole. Those humps and bumps can pose some hanging lies for any short pitch shot, and the green itself has a depression across its front. If you haven't noticed by now, the hole numbers of each pair of holes with connected fairways add up to 19, and those of each pair of double greens add up to 18.
Thank you for that fun fact, my friend from America, who I don't know their name. Right, so 10th, they're going to be existing, currently looking like this. They're going to be adding an extra bit of length onto this one and a new fairway bunker down the left. So currently, even in the Alfred Dunn Hill, what they're trying to do, they have to walk across the road to get this bit. And it was a little bit silly, actually, for view fans, actually, because you could walk through here in between these 2 gorse bushes, but you could walk, you were then completely blocked off. So you could then had to walk through this bit, but you had to wait until they've just walked over, hit their shot, and then go. Whereas I think this might be a little bit more interesting, the fact that there might be a little bit of space to walk back here and then walk along. And then none of this is the new course on the left-hand side, so all of that will be either Tented Village or Spectators Village or toilets, etc. So there'll be plenty of places to stand this side of the golf course. A little bit of extension. How many yards are they going to be putting on there? They're going to be putting on 29 yards, making it 415. Like that. Makes it a bit more challenging. The fact they've got that new bunker, actually, as well. currently there. I mean, on 2022, all they were doing was were bombing it. They could get way past this one if it was long ones. Rory actually on the Saturday chipped in from this bunker right here. He came in here and it just sort of fed into the right. So yeah, and this side was not that troublesome. I was standing on this bit for the Saturday, and then actually there was a big grandstand round behind the 7th and 8th. I was sitting in 7th and 11th. I was sitting there when Rory chipped in. Massive day. Interesting. So that left bunker, ooh, that makes it much more interesting. And thinking about traffic management there, there's usually a big grandstand up here on the medal tee of the 11th, and the 11th tee was quite small, and there was always worries if they would hit into players, whereas that bunker sort of stops that. Also forces people to be either very targeted or have to lay up. Oh, I like that. 11th hole. 11th hole. This is one of the best holes in the golf course. Yeah, without doubt. Here we
In
go.
golf,
11.
imitated those of each pair of double greens at up to 18. The only other par 3 on the old course, 11 is one of the most famous holes in golf, imitated on countless courses under the name Eden, referring to the River Eden. 100 years ago, the river was directly behind the green. Now there's a deep grassy hollow off the back edge. The shot off the elevated tee must thread a gap between two traps, the deep hill bunker on the far left and the smaller but equally deep strath bunker on the right. The putting surface is steep and putts above the hole are treacherous, as they can gain speed, roll over a bunker lip, and into the strath bunker. The 12th has bunkers down the center of the fairway.
Love that. Love the 11th. Right, what they're doing. There better not be a lengthening it. That would be wild if they were doing that. Current teeing ground. Extension of the championship tee. Interesting. What are they doing to this? The 11th. Ooh. They're making it 195. 21 yards. Interesting. Did not know that. So they're pushing that back. Are they changing the medal tee? No. No. So they're keeping the medal tee the same. Up here are the ladies' tee, I think it is actually. And then they're pushing this back so it'll be a little bit further back. Interesting. Don't know if I like that because I feel like the 11th is already interesting enough as it is. And it also brings things into a little bit more chaotic if people are driving into the bunker here or driving up to here. Not too sure about that one. Let's have a look back at the existing. So they're just filling this bit, making this tee. I mean, isn't that already there? Interesting. Oh well. I need to see that one to believe it, if it's actually any good. So that's the first one I'm like a little bit skeptical about. 12. Here we go. Oh, you didn't see all that. God, this is tough. See, these are why I do things. So 11th tee's right there. 10th green's there. What they're going to try and do is going to push that back a bit. There we go. I'm not too sure because people were driving up into this area anyway, so it just makes it more problematic if that's the case. Yeah, not sure about that one, being brutally honest. Right, moving on. Another thing that they are doing is something on the 12th.
Not visible from the tee, but they can clearly be seen from the green looking back, as this green was originally bunkered to be played in the opposite direction. The only bunker still visible from the tee is one just 19 yards short of the green, and it's in play on this short par 4 for many of today's championship golfers. The 12th green, shared with the 6th, has a long, narrow deck with deep depressions front and back. The perched deck is less than 20 yards deep, so the approach must either be a high, delicate wedge that can stick or a low running shot that will scoot up the front slope but not down the back one.
I literally think the 12th is one of the best holes in the world because it's so wacky. It's unbelievable. Right, Heathery. Existing. Looks like this. What are they doing to this? Adjustments to the tees. Oh, they're just moving it left a bit. Is that right? Yeah, they're just moving it left. Oh, that was it. And then existing, what they're doing at the green, reshaping of the area leading to the approach bunker. Ooh, so they're going to make it more invite, so the ball might fire into that bunker more readily. Okay, that makes sense. 12th. So what? It didn't look like they're just lengthening it or anything. Oh, so they're just moving. So the 12th, actually, they're going to lose 2 yards. Going to lose 2 yards on the 12th, and that's just the T shape by the looks of it. The rest, yeah, the rest is actually perfect, being honest. I used to think it was one of the favourite holes in the golf course. I'll still do. Right, moving on. Moving on. We're getting through this. 14th. 14th, long hole. Existing tees. They're not doing anything to this. Tee adjustments. All right, come on, folks. What can you see different there? Oh, it's actually yellow tees. So they're putting one in here, but this is not for actually the open tee. The open tee is going to be exactly the same. So the open tee is still the same. It's just the medal tees and the ordinary tees for players. Right, okay. I mean, not interested. Is that it? Oh, so the 14th is not being changed. Yes, it's still there's the scorecard right there. Still 614 yards, the longest hole in the golf course. 614. And actually, this bit, if you didn't know, this bit here is actually already on the Eden golf course. Like this is one of the fairways of the Eden. I think it's like the third or second or something like that. It's like that's the fairway and that's the tee just literally right beside it. There's a green right here on the bottom right. So yeah. Okay, no change. Moving on. 16th. Now, this, I knew this one was the biggest one, actually. Biggest change. Corner of the dike. This is the one that you can always walk at, and we used to walk at for ages. For years. Existing, looks right there. So you've got the 15th green right here, and this is the tightest fairway. You had to have this, like, perfect fade. Okay, round. And the fairway is a little bit helpful, because it does sort of push it back into the middle, but there's these 3 bunkers here, and there's actually one further over. That is just an absolute nightmare. So you either go for the tiger line, right down it, and bearing in mind there is fans all the way down here. There's massive grandstands. You're in the Open Championship. It is super tight. So the majority of people actually were doing, and it doesn't, depending on the pin position, it actually doesn't actually help you if you're here, because the pin might be right anyway, so you've still got a really tough second shot in. So a lot of players were actually, and since it was because it was not that hard, it was quite benign. Players were just bombing it over the bunkers or left into the long grass, and actually give you a much more safer second shot in. Run it up. Make your par, or if you made a hole, because it is relatively small portions of this green in comparison to others. So what are they going to be doing? Extension of the championship tee and restoration of the fairway to the left and addition of 2 fairway bunkers. That is very interesting. So what they're going to do? Making the tee bigger. What they're doing? They're changing it. They're putting 10 yards on it. Okay, so not that big change. But so it makes it, what's it now? It was 418, it's now 428, so 430. But you've got, this is a massive change down the left-hand side. Actually, I heard about this because they've got big, this is what it used to be further down. The bunkers were the same, but it had that when the railway was actually on the path. It's now just a walkway. So restoration of the fair. Oh my goodness. That's interesting. Restoration of the fairway. So all that rough is going, and they're putting in 2 bunkers down that side. That's incredible. Wow. That's cool. And then, yeah, so it's not necessarily penalizing people for taking the safe option, but it technically, you really need to place it into this place. You probably have to bounce it here if it's dry, and then just let it stop short. So, yeah, that's big changes. Woo! I'll be interested to see it. I'm not too sure what it's going to be like. Certainly know they're going to be doing the work over both this Christmas and next Christmas. And they've also been doing a lot of particular irrigation system change. So they're really upgrading systems both on old, and I think that, is it next season they're doing the new and the Eid and the Jubilee. So over the course of a few years, they're actually doing the whole site. So yeah, 16. That is a really interesting change to 16th. Right, road hole. They're changing the road hole? No. Existing. Minor reshaping of the ridge left of the road hole bunker and lowering of the sand splash buildup above the face. I don't know what that means. So currently, it looks like that. Minor reshaping looks like that. I can't see the difference, being honest. Are they making it more steep? Lowering of the sand splash buildup above the face. I don't know what that means. Interesting. So that's doing minor shaping by the looks of it. So overall course length. Here we go. Oh, I should have showed you the 16th, actually. Let's show the 16th on the video. Let's watch the 16th. I'll do like the 16th. Here we go.
Out of bounds is immediately off the right edge of the fairway on the 16th. In the past, the normal play was to drive left over the triad of bunkers known as the Principal's Nose, a carry of 280 yards, or over Deacon Sign Bunker 30 yards beyond. But the ample fairway left of those bunkers was converted to rough some 20 years ago, making the 16th now the tightest driving hole on the old course. The 16th hole portion of the dual green shared with hole 2 is narrow as well. Its leading edge is steep 30 yards beyond. But the ample fairway left of those bunkers.
The plan is to cut into this bit, so that presumably
was converted to rough some 20 years ago, making the 16th now the tightest driving hole.
So presumably that depression right there is going to be that big bunker that looks like this. Yeah, and then put in back to this. Presumably the other bunker is just going to be there. That's so interesting. Cool. We'll look forward to seeing that at some point in the future. I was very interested that I actually said, don't know if anybody saw that. It said 426. 426. And this video was done. When was this video done? 3 years ago. 426. And they're saying that they're lengthening it 10 yards from 418 to 428. Is that a little bit of confibbery there? Have I started conspiracy theory? Ooh. Let's go back to 7th. Are they doing the same on 7th? 420 on the 6th. 6th was 4. It's now 430. Have these guys been confibbery with their yardages. 7th, 373 is, well, they were saying it was 371 in the open. I wonder if they've just, like, because of boards behind and stuff, that they shorten certain parts of the back tees. Probably that's the case, actually. I'm probably confibbery there. But that one doesn't make sense. 426. If it's 418 and it, yeah, that makes no sense. Unless they really did shorten it because of the boards that are usually on the tees. That's the only thing I can actually think of. Right. And is that us? Existing yards 2022 open. So yeah, an additional yardage of 132 yards onto the golf course. Which actually, if that's the case already, that on the golf scorecard, that by the sounds of it, let's go to the old course scorecard. Old course scorecard. Old course back tees. Here we go. No, not showing us there. Let's see if we go there. Tees. Championship. Sorry, 5143. That sounds about right. 7171. That doesn't sound right either. One last look for the tees. Nah, not going to find it. Oh well. So let's go back to the thing right here. So yeah, changing it back up 132 yards. I mean, looking forward to seeing them. I've played the old course twice. I've played it in 2021, I think it was, in the height of summer. And I actually played it last year at Christmas. One of the good traditions of St Andrews is that locals go and play it, the course, before their Christmas dinner. And I'd heard about it. So there was a big rammy. There's nobody there. It's just first come, first served. So you go out and play. And yeah, really, really enjoyed it. So we'll see if we can do that this year. However, by the looks of it, there might be some in the middle of some works during that time. So without further ado, hope you have enjoyed this stream. And yeah, as I said earlier, we're going to be looking at different topics. So I'm not too sure what my next one is. Might be back to music, might be back to travel, might be even cars. Don't know. But would love for anybody to give me a little comment, give me some feedback if this has all worked. If you like this sort of stuff, thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one. All the best. Take care. Cheers.